What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for stopping in. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now. I know you want to be part of this movement, this culture built around speed, Speed Culture Studios. Let's roll. So here we are, 2015 Infiniti Q50 VQ 3.7 mobile command center. A question I get all the time is whether or not the VQ37 is worth tuning. I've done a video on this. Go ahead and check it out. You might have to scroll down the page. It's been a little while. But what I wanted to do today is a little update. I've had the car tuned for just about 1 full year now on ecutek software, tuned by Soho Motorsports in Charlotte, North Carolina. And I wanted to give a quick overview of my thoughts and opinions after the first year. I guess it could be important information for folks to know. You know, is it worth tuning up front? Sure, but what are the long-term effects? What are some things that I've noticed over the last year or so? And what are my opinions up to this point? So let's delve right into it. Oh, whoa. Before we get too far into this video, I gotta remind you guys to go check out my last video, which of course is the VQ37 test pipe giveaway video. We have just over a week or so left. Drawing happens March 1st. So if it's not March 1st, 2020 yet, you got still time. You still got time to enter. These are nice, quality, great value, non-resonated test pipes for the VQ37, wrapped with brand new black fiberglass heat wrap by myself personally. I show that little portion of in the video, that last video as well. But they look really nice, they sound excellent, and they make good horsepower and torque as well. I had these on my personal vehicle the second time that the car was tuned at Soho Motorsports. So you can get an idea of how they sound by checking out some of my last videos. I did a little comparison between resonated and non-resonated test pipes, so you get a real good idea of how they sound, how they perform, and you know, they're good. You know, I wouldn't give them away. I wouldn't put them off on somebody else if they weren't good, or if I wouldn't run them myself. I ran them on the car for about 2,000 miles, so you know, trust me. Put a link in the description to that video, so as soon as you're done watching this video, head over to that video. Make sure you get yourself entered to win. Again, drawing on March 1st, 2020. Good luck to everybody. All right, so let's start this main topic today. Ooh, get a glimpse of that hot-ass steering wheel from Halisco's Carbon Fiber on Instagram. You can still get a deal until February 20th, so go check him out on Instagram and get $10 off Q50 wheels, $15 off 370Z wheels. All right. So is tuning the VQ37 worth it? Well, we established that long ago in a previous video. I would say yes, up front it certainly is, especially if you're modifying the car at all in terms of intake and exhaust work, anything to do with the factory catalytic converters. If you're changing them out to high flow cats or test pipes, you're going to want to tune anyways. The purpose of the tune, not necessarily to bring out a ton of horsepower, but to make sure all your modifications are working efficiently together. You want the car to run right? So we are coming up on 1 full year of being tuned on ecutek software by Soho Motorsports in Charlotte. I had this car tuned. This clip is from March 3rd, I believe, 2019, so damn near 1 full year. In this video, I had resonated test pipes with a custom catback, including a 1320 Performance Y pipe, and essentially straight back with a couple of small resonators after the Y. We made 333 horsepower to the wheels, 284 foot-pounds of torque, so about 50 horsepower, 55 horsepower over base, which is respectable. And we shot some crazy-ass flames. So a lot of benefits obviously come with tuning the car. Car's throttle response is greatly improved. Shifting between gears seems more crisp and a little bit quicker. The torque curve is very linear, holding the torque number consistently throughout the RPM range. Horsepower also is very linear in the right direction, carrying power steadily and consistently through the power band, pulling hard all the way through redline, which is 7600 RPM now after the tune. Of course, our top speed is increased. Overall the car runs great. Investing in the ecutek cable kit with the dongle and whatnot, that adds a whole nother element you know, a bunch of different features that you can get along with the tune. It allows you to do some data logging. It allows you to interact with your tuner and swap files if you need to, you know, and do some remote tuning, and like I said, sharing those data logs with your tuner can go a long way if you run into any potential issues or adjustments are needed down the road. You know, you can scan for codes if anything were to pop up. You can change maps and whatnot through the app as well. There's just a lot of functionality that, God, I can't talk, that comes along with that ecutek cable kit as well. So that's an additional cost, but it's available to you if you do have the software. After a year's time, I'm still pleased with the tune, and I'm still an advocate for it. I still, after a year, would recommend having the tune done again, especially if you are making any changes to your exhaust or air intake system. It's just an important step to make. Cars are so finely refined and tuned from the factory now. If you start messing with some things, you're going to want to get a tune. Now, knock on wood, I've said this a million times, but I'll continue saying it. It's a quote from my idol, Michael Scott from The Office. I'm not superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. So I don't want to say that the car is perfect, no issues, I never have any problems with this car, it's a beast, you know, it's bulletproof, blah, blah, blah. We all know that when you start messing with components on a vehicle and you tune and you change, you know, the way the ECU operates and communicates with, you know, different aspects of your vehicle, there's a potential for issues. I will say that something that popped up with this ecutek software is the U1001 code. I believe that's right. It's in a video that I have from a few months back where the car just stopped running properly for a couple of weeks, and we really couldn't figure it out. It was throwing this code coming from, you know, ecutek corporate, I guess the actual business. It seems to be a glitch with the software. As long as it's not throwing a check engine light, it's just a code that will pop up. You can clear it, it's going to come right back, but it doesn't mess with the functionality of the vehicle, which is kind of a relief. So I'm not sure what caused the problem for my car. It seemed to be in limp mode or stuck in valet mode. We never really did figure it out. It just kind of started working. You know, we sent, speaking of the features of that cable kit, I was able to do some data logging, send it to Nick at Soho. He was able to look at it. It looked like maybe a sensor was having an issue at some point, not communicating with the throttle. Again, it just kind of seemed to work itself out. I went one more day. I went through the maps to try to figure out what the difference was and do some more data logging for one more try, and the car just worked. So it seemed to work itself out. I know the VQ37 is a little bit finicky sometimes when it comes to throwing itself into valet mode or limp mode. A lot of times it's just cured with shutting the car off and firing it back up. It took a couple of extra days for me in this case, but ever since it's been running okay again. I don't have any wood to knock on, but I get a lot of people that are curious now about the fuel mileage that I get after a tune. Before the tune, I was getting about 23 miles to the gallon with mixed driving city and highway, and I do drive pretty spiritedly with, you know, the occasional pull. After the tune, I get probably 20 to 21 miles per gallon with the same type of driving style. You know, it might just be because the car is a little more fun to drive, honestly. I think if you drive normally and you pay attention to the RPM and you keep it at a consistent level, you're going to get pretty decent mileage out of this car. I always have it in sport mode, actually personal mode with active trace control off, and I think that's the key. But, you know, I think eco mode is nonsense. I think there should only be one mode in a car, and that should be sport mode. If you need help, you know, controlling your foot in the throttle and not burning the tires off around every corner, that's your own problem. I honestly don't need the car to do that for me. So the opening of Tail of the Dragon, we're not on that road unfortunately, but we're heading back more into North Carolina rather than into Tennessee. Car's handling pretty well still in damp conditions, and it sounds good. Just a couple of quick points in summary. I'm really happy with the ecutek tune after a year of driving this car. You might notice a little drop off in fuel mileage just because you like to put your foot in the gas a little more often. I mean, with the tune, the car becomes a lot more fun to drive. So what do you expect? I'd end up with a little bug here or there just because of the nature of the software. From what I understand from ecutek, some things happen. But as long as they're not throwing a check engine light, you should be okay. And again, I think this is more of an exception than the rule. I don't know that everyone deals with this situation. It just happened to happen to me. Anytime you are considering tuning your vehicle or changing the parameters away from factory settings, make sure you're dealing with master tuners. So do a quick search online and find a master tuner near you, or someone who is very experienced in remote tuning. You don't want to be dealing with scrubs or just someone that dabbles. When you do find someone that knows what they're doing, like Soho Motorsports, you will enjoy much better throttle response, a much more refined power band, and a torque curve that is pleasing. Let's face it, with the VQ37, you're not going to pull huge numbers out of the car with a tune, but with the proper modifications and a master tuner working their magic, you're going to get some relatively nice numbers, but more importantly, you're going to get all your modifications to work together properly, which was the goal in the first place, right? If you guys have any questions about the ecutek tune and the Q50 and how they commingle, I'll leave them in the comment section below. I'll definitely get to them. If there's anything that I didn't cover in the video that you're curious about, I tried to provide some details. I don't know, I got into the video and I think I covered a lot of stuff that I've already talked about in the past, but some of you might be interested in my thoughts and opinions about the tune after 1 year. They're good. I can't be more pleased. So good news there. I guess maybe we'll do a follow-up in another year or so. Don't forget to check out the link in the description to the giveaway video. You want to make sure you get entered to win those VQ37 test pipes. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for the continued support. We'll see you in the next video.